Oh, my buttocks are delicately perched on a very pointy, sharp rock right now. Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally about things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things. And today we have interesting stuff and things to talk about, including, oh man, upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and working. I'm going to be talking about a really interesting pipe blend that came my way courtesy of Sutliff, and then we will have your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings. And this pipe blend, very interesting. It's actually jumped the queue with my reviews because I had to talk about it more quickly than I was going to talk about it if I put it in line with the other blends. So interesting stuff. Stay tuned. As you can see, I am down by the water again. I thought it was going to be kind of sunny, but it has sporadically been raining. So hopefully that will not happen while I'm trying to record this video. But what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things and working? Well, first, this coming week, we will be dissecting a plum pudding cigar. Very fascinating. We were trying to figure out with the plum pudding burning stick that was put out by Seattle Pipe Club, whether it actually had plum pudding in it, like if somebody had just taken a tin of plum pudding, sprinkled it inside the cigar, and rolled it up with it. The burning stick didn't taste a lot like plum pudding. I couldn't really detect, or it wasn't obvious to me that plum pudding was in there. So there were different theories. Most things online were saying that yes, there is plum pudding in there, but I have a definitive answer for you if you watch the video coming up this Wednesday. The week after that, we will be doing our 10-year anniversary celebration video, taking a look back at some of the first videos that I ever put out on this channel, some of the little tropes and memes and things that have developed over the years, seeing where those things started. Just kind of a fun look back. You'll see some old clips from some really old videos. The younger Bradley, the 10-year younger Bradley. So check that out. The week after that was going to be the Old Boss First Impressions video, but it will not be now, because instead we will be doing First Impressions for Pipe Force Episode 2. Sergeant Kimball, this evil goat demon military naval man, whatever he is. Very fascinating blend. It's so fascinating that I wanted to do this before Old Boss. Again, produced by, or blended by Per George Jensen, using some really interesting varietals in here. So we're gonna be talking about this in this episode. And then after that, we will have a yak wool sweater. That's really fascinating. A company called Oliver Charles contacted me and said, hey, we make sweaters out of axe. Out of whack. Not wax, not axe, yaks. What else rhymes with yaks? We shave them, we take their fibers, we put it in a 3D knitting machine and make these sweaters. So I was fascinated by this. I had them send me an all season one. It's really nice, it fits great, it's a really cool color, and we'll be doing a video on that coming up soon. And then Working Episode 30 is out. Watch it. It got way fewer views than most of the other videos do on Working, and it's actually really cool because it's the beginning of a really interesting project, a giant driveway we're doing that has stamped concrete borders. It's gonna have sand finished concrete in the middle. It's gonna be huge. It's probably gonna be over a $60,000 job when all is said and done. It's gonna be really cool. So check out the first video of that. You'll get to see where that all started. That's Working Episode 30, out now on Working. Lots of good stuff coming up. All right, gang, Pipe Force Episode 2. I got this in the mail yesterday and I was fascinated. First, I read the little press release that Sutliff sent along with it. Pipe Force Episode 2. So let me just read you a little bit of this and you'll understand, I think, why I was so intrigued. Sutliff Signature Series, Episode 2. Plug cut. It's more of a crumble cake. 1.75 ounce tin. Launch date, June 18th, 2024. So this is still available as of the recording of this video, so definitely check it out. A mellow, sweet mixture of bright red and stowed Virginias offers the exceptional base for smoky Latakia, floral Kentucky, spice of stoved Catarini, interesting, and the ambrosial berry and spice of Catarini Perique. The result is a harmony of flavor in perfect balance. Catarini Perique. that's what really piqued my interest. Now, Pipe Force episode 1, we did a video on, maybe 2 videos, I can't remember. That had stoved Rustica. That was kind of the interesting thing about that blend. This has stoved Catarini, but it also has Periqued Catarini. So Catarini is a varietal, an oriental varietal grown on mainland Greece. And I was doing some research on it because I had heard about it. I was intrigued by it. I found a cool article on, I think it was teapipes.com. I've got too much stuff here. So from essingpeas.com, they describe the blend, but then mention only 7,500 tins were produced for this limited run, and 1 in every 10 tins contains a collectible challenge coin emblazoned with the blend's character-driven tin art. I did not get a challenge coin, unfortunately. Actually, let me look in here. I don't think I got a challenge coin, unless it was under the plug. Damn, no challenge coin. Okay, anyway, then there's this cool article from, this is teapipes.com by Greg Rosenberg on April 11th, 2022. And it talks about Mark Ryan, who runs LA Poche, or P-O-C-H-E. I've heard the company mentioned many times. It's the largest producer of Perique still in existence right now. And it just mentions how Mark Ryan was the first to experiment with putting other types of tea through the Periquing process. These innovations include Acadian Black. We've mentioned that on the channel before. Ryan put dark-fired Kentucky teas through the barrel fermentation process, resulting in a unique condiment many may remember from 2 bygone blends, McClellan's Royal Cajun Ebony and Ryan's own mixture, Daughters and Ryan's Rimboche AB. Acadian Gold. Ryan put bright Virginias through the Perique process, resulting in Acadian Gold. It would be used in Russ Ouellet's RO series, including one option that was 100% Acadian Gold. And now Perique processed Catarini. But this is going to be pretty limited too. So this is way back in 2022, well, not way back, 2 years ago in 2022. A quote from Ryan here. He was talking about doing the blending for Daughters and Ryan and how he got some very interesting varietals during that process or during that time. We were premium, high-end, roll your own back in the heyday. I used to do exotic blends, and sometimes when I would acquire some exotic inventory, I'd keep a bale or 2 back to do other things with other things other than mass blending, or I'd hold it for future blends, and I happen to have some of that super high-grade Catarini. It's just stunning, he says, describing the Catarini Perique. It's got this fermented fruit flavor. It's just so remarkable. Per George Jensen describes it as Catarini tea is an oriental tea growing on the mainland in Greece. For the first time in history, the Catarini is fermented after the original Perique recipe. The result is sublime. Catarini Perique has a lighter taste than normal Perique, and as an extra gain, it develops a deep raisin, fruity taste. It isn't like any tea I've ever smelled or tasted. It does have that dark fruitiness. Oh, I think this is the author of the article now. This is not continuing Per George Jensen's quote. It does have that dark fruitiness, I think even a berry taste to it, but nothing like you would find in the candy aisle. It's natural and deep. Ryan explains it's just a real special exotic product. I mean, you're starting with stuff that you can't get very much anymore. Orientals are hard to come by. So I don't know how much left. I don't know how much of this they have left, but I did the first impressions video of Pipe Force episode 2 with the Periqued Catarini in it, and it is really unique. I was expecting something interesting, and I got something interesting. I don't want to give too much away because I want you to watch that first impressions video, but it has, I have tried so many blends throughout the 10 years that I've had this channel. I've reviewed so many blends, and it is very rare for me now to come across a flavor within a pipe blend that I have never tasted before. Obviously, there are different combinations that can make unique, marriages of flavor, but just one component that tastes just completely unique is very rare for me. And that Catarini Perique is very rare and very unique, and I have never tasted anything like it. So fascinating stuff. Check out the first impressions video that will be coming out soon, and check out Pipe Force episode 2. Sergeant Kimball, it's good. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings. You could write to me via Patreon and go right to the front of the line. You can hit that super thanks button under this video and go right to the front of the line, or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback under my YouTube videos in the comment section. I'm going to get very close to the camera and try to see if I can see how much battery I have left and whether or not audio is still recording. It is. That's great. Oh, the pointy rock on my buttocks. That is not a good feeling. Okay, first of all, we have some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is a super thanks from @ThomasCrown, who could probably afford it. Thomas Crown, wasn't he rich or was he a thief? I don't know if I've never actually seen the Thomas Crown affair. This is, yes, a super thanks from @ThomasCrown8194, who says, "Thank you, Bradley, for these 10 years of fantastic content." So he was commenting on our video I posted last year just about remembering that it had been 10 years since we started the Stuff and Things channel. So thank you so much for that super thanks, @ThomasCrown. Ryan McFadin says, "Congrats on 10 years. It's wild how fast time flies. It's been great watching your channel grow over the last decade. Here's to 10 more. And Ryan, thank you so much. I've actually had personal correspondence with Ryan. He's an amazing guy. Thank you so much for the support on Patreon and for being here for so long. We have @Seder, or Sejder. I always forget how to pronounce that. "I remember when I found your channel, I thought it looked like a nice gentleman's channel about stuff for men in general." Very good, thank you. @GwynLee5925, "I've been enjoying your content for most of that time. Please keep it up." Well, thank you very much for being here for so long. @SolarLabyrinth, "Congrats on 10 years. Not sure when I first tuned in or what led me to you, but it was several years now. I wish I knew how much time I spent watching between this channel, SATP, and working. It has to be in the hundreds of hours. 50K subscribers is nothing to sneeze at, but you certainly deserve many more. And I definitely agree with being sick making you appreciate being healthy. Whenever I am sick, I always think about how much I usually take feeling normal for granted." Yes, thank you very much, Solar Labyrinth, and I've definitely noticed you in the comment section for years now. You have been a great contributor, and I really appreciate you watching for as long as you have. And then this is a name I haven't seen in a while, but I remember your comments from many years ago. This is @DrRegMonster4371. "Since those GEC videos," so those were some of the first videos I ever posted on Stuff and Things about Great Eastern Cutlery knives. "The knives have been hard to buy." Yes, they have. And I don't think that's just due to me. Obviously, a lot of people were talking about these really cool traditional slip joint knives that are being made by Great Eastern Cutlery. Back when I first did those videos 10 years ago, you could get them. There would be multiple models available if you went on various websites, knives ship free, collector knives. Now, as soon as they're released, they're bought up. I had email alerts for knives coming to, I can't remember if it was Knife Ship Free or Collector Knives, one of those. And I would get the email, or I would be working or something, I'd check my email and see that I got an email at like noon that there was a shipment of GEC knives, and by the time I was reading the email, it would be like 12:30 and they'd all be gone. So they're tough to find. We have @SmashingArtful, "I can completely relate to the phrase, 'it's good to feel ill.' I was just talking about a quote from the inimitable Carl Pilkington, who was talking about how it's good to feel ill because once you feel better, you appreciate how good feeling good feels, because I had been sick for over a week. For me, this sentiment resonates especially when spring arrives after a dreary winter. I really dislike winter. It's cold, dark, and generally miserable to me. However, the first few weeks of spring with its warmth and sunshine completely invigorate me. I feel a deep sense of thankfulness for the sun, life, and new beginnings that I don't think I would appreciate if I hadn't experienced the dark and cold of winter." Yes. People talk about the fact that it is just so gray and dark here for about 9 months, basically from fall through spring. And then when it does get to be spring and summer and the sun comes out, people just go insane. And I'm kind of feeling that more than I used to because I've been so into photography lately and I want to get outside and take pictures. And if it's overcast and raining all the time, it's kind of hard to do. So I still don't get the depression from overcast days. I kind of like it when it's gray and drizzly, but I do appreciate now the sun a little bit more because I want to get out and take pictures. Next, we have some feedback from the video I posted about whether or not my gerbils are still alive. Spoilers, they are. This is from @MTATE02. They say, "Long live the gerbils, little camera shy sweeties." Yes, they are. @RobertGames6571 says, "Should have just smiled into the camera and patted your belly." How dare you? they wouldn't fill even a small person, so they definitely wouldn't fill me. At Ledger and Lace, very cute. He looks much more comfortable jumping in your hand than when you first got them. Yeah, my little gerbils are pretty good about jumping up and like, they'll take little rides. I can put them on me if I wish. They're not as scared as me as they're not as frightened of me as they used to be. And then finally at Riding with Dave, awesome. They can for sure outlive their lifetimes, the internet says. I had a Syrian hamster. Everyone says 1.5 to 2.5 years, and my little dude Fred lived to be almost 5 before he finally passed. That's an old hamster, man. I had a gerbil back when I was a kid, and this was before the internet was really a thing, and before you could look up what you're supposed to do, and I didn't realize that gerbils need a buddy. They shouldn't be alone. And so I had this gerbil named Mervin when I was a little kid, and he was very angry because he was alone. I didn't realize I was giving him horrible psychological problems. So he bit me all the time. He was a maniac, but he lived for over 5 years as well. Crazy. I think it was just the spite, the anger that made him live so long. But yeah, my guys are almost 3 years old, so I'm hoping they'll stick around a little longer. Usually 3 years is about the age range for them, but they seem perfectly healthy, happy, so we shall see. Gang, thanks for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in. It really helps make the show go. But now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It's really the only reason I'm able to keep doing this, and we want to keep growing the show, and I want to keep growing the support from you guys on Patreon. So if you like what I'm doing, check that description box below, hit that Patreon link, and if you want to jump in at $5 a month, that would be fantastic and much appreciated. But every week we shout out those who support the channels. Oh, and you get some benefits. You get videos early and ad-free on Patreon. So we have every week a shout out for those who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Glenn Dunnington, Jason Buckner, Ryan McFadin, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, Jonathon Proctor, Kyle Waitkunas, ConCoClem, Charles Mowers, and the Friendly Piper, producers of this channel. And then of course the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channel at $100 a month, Bob Magee. And we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, Peter Straub. Gang, there is so much to look forward to on this channel. I'm a few weeks ahead with videos, which is a good place to be. I like having a little buffer zone. And so I've already done content for those weeks, and then there are just so many other things that are in line to have a video made about them. Again, it's not doing myself any favors because it's eclectic. There are all sorts of different things that I'm interested in, and I'm doing videos about all sorts of different things. But I like it, and it keeps me motivated, and it keeps me interested in what's going on, and I appreciate you guys watching. Like we talked about last week, it's been 10 years. I'm still here. I'm glad you're still here, and I plan to continue being here for a long time to come. So until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later. I have to get this rock out of my butt. Oh. Ow.